If we can understand the typical project problems, then we can manage them out to make sure we have a successful project. So what are the typical project problems? So at the top of the list here we've got ambiguity. So we really do need clarity on why we're doing what we're doing, what it is we're going to do, and how it is we're going to do it. If we don't have clarity in these things, we inevitably end up with lots of wrangling, including contractual wrangling with external parties. So the second thing is silo thinking. If we're a member of a team and we're busy on our area and we're not aware of the bigger picture and we don't see everything that's going on, then we've got real problems potentially. We absolutely need to understand the unintended consequences of this project, and if we're each working in our own silos and we don't understand the big picture, then we're going to inevitably have big problems. Too slow, especially if you're working in a command and control type environment. There will always be a problem here. So data and information and change is happening so quickly that it's overtaking our ability to learn. So if you've got a slow system and you've got executive sign-off bottlenecks, you're going to run into problems. Testing and learning. So where there is ambiguity and we don't know at the start of the project exactly what we're going to do or how we're going to do it, more of a foggy project, then this is even more important. We've got to test and learn and feed that back into the system. Communication's obviously a really key part of this equation. If the communication is poor, people don't understand what's going on, you'll get an anxiety gap, especially with the execs who need to sign this off, which in turn can create lots of extra report writing that's a waste in the system. So get the communication right, get the stakeholder mapping right is the message from all this. Ownership. Core members of the team and sponsors of the project have to own it and have to working with the outcomes of the project after it's complete. That's important. People. If you try to force change, you will get resistance. You might not see the resistance obviously, but it will always be there, so you have to manage teams and people really carefully. You might have a problem with people in the team that are unrealistic optimists. Equally problematic, you might have people in the team that are absolutely ignorant of the project and everything that's involved. So again, communication and education is key. And leadership. And we've mentioned unintended consequences, a lack of brain power. So not thinking the whole thing through, not being creative in terms of solutions. That is a typical set of problems for most projects. So how do we tackle those problems? We know all these things above are predictable. We know what the problems are so that we can manage them. So that's what we need to focus on, managing these issues. Getting clarity on the why, the what and the how. From that, understanding the type of project and the methods and tools that we're going to use to deliver and manage all these potential problem areas. Make it fast, create a project heartbeat, communicate with people really quickly and promptly, make decisions quickly. Discipline. We use tools like AOA for the discipline and also for the brain power. We'll manage tasks, we'll understand who's doing what and by when, and the brain power is all about that creativity, understanding the impacts and the unintended consequences, researching and testing where there is ambiguity, feeding those results and that clarity back into the system and making sure it's communicated well. Engagement, team engagement, stakeholder engagement, smart reporting, clever communication. And this perspective again is a AOA trait, or an AOA solution is using this mind mapping tool. You can absolutely see the big picture and you can see how things relate, how your particular action is linked to the whole picture. And clever communication, we use Screencast-O-Matic, the tool that I'm using now, to make sure that we can engage with the whole team quickly and efficiently, and it's loved by everybody. So this is an overview of the typical problems and how we will manage projects going forward to make sure that we really deliver fantastic projects.